And welcome back to Explore Travel TV. My name is David L. Peters, and my mission is to entertain, educate, and motivate you to a great vacation and awesome life ahead. In today's episode, I have a very special treat. I'm actually interviewing some friends of mine that have traveled the world for over 2.5 years, going to 18 countries, living in these countries 10 months out of the year. We covered so much information, I actually had to cut this into two parts, part one and part two. So stay till the end so you can get a link to part two. I'll also put it down in the description below. So let's get to the interview and find out what they did and how they did it. Coming up next. And hey, if you guys really like to travel and have travel information, please hit the subscribe button and the bell so you can get future videos. Now, this interview was done over the internet. So the internet where they are at right now was a little bit rough. So bear with us on the quality of it, but we have a great time, great information. Let's go right to the interview. Okay, I am here with my friends Damone and Todd, and they are not even in this country. They are around the world somewhere. They're world travelers, like I said before. And so I want to introduce you guys to them. Damone and Todd, how you guys doing?
Hey, hey, David. Good to see you.
Good. So tell me, where are you guys right now?
We are in Chiang Mai, Thailand.
Mm-hmm. Wow, in Thailand. Awesome. So
yes.
Yeah, now I've known you guys for quite a while, I think. I worked with Damone for 10 years, and that was over 3 years ago. So I've known you guys for quite a while. Okay, so let's find out about you guys a little bit more. Okay, you're traveling, you're doing all this crazy stuff, which we'll get into, but what did you guys do before you traveled? Where'd you come from? Where'd you live? What kind of work do you do?
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm from Sacramento, California, and I used to work for the state of California, and I retired from there. And then I worked for a magic company called Murphy's Magic Supplies. And I worked there for about 11 and a half years, I think it is. Yeah. And so those are my two jobs I've had. And so
awesome.
I want to say it was 11 and a half years, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't even remember now, David.
We've been traveling for 2.5 years, so.
Yeah, so I'm going to say it's 11 and a half years since I was there.
Awesome. And Todd?
Todd, by the way.
Todd.
I was a teacher for special needs kids, and so I did that for a while, and then transitioned out of that. I kind of did a little short stint in magic along with you. I worked for a rival company though. And I don't want to give them a plug, but anyway, I worked for another magic company. And then I transitioned into corporate. And so I was in corporate property management, and retired from that.
Okay, so you guys have been traveling for 2.5 years or so. Tell me what made you guys do what you did, or tell everybody what you did. You went from working these jobs.
That's a great question.
Traveling.
Yeah.
So give people an idea of what transpired this whole thing together.
It was my 50th birthday, and that was in 2015. We went to Bali, Indonesia, for my 50th. And when we went there, I don't know if you've been to Bali, but it's everything that they say it is. I mean, it's tropical, it's an island, it's paradise. It's, even though it's getting crowded with tourists, it still is one of the most beautiful places you'll ever visit, and so tranquil. We were there for 2 weeks, and it was just pure bliss.
Yes.
We saw just beautiful nature. Just the people were so kind. We left there zened out of our minds, and it just was so wonderful. And I came back working corporate to my first day back at my desk. I sat down to hundreds of emails, all with urgent, need this now, la da 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 da. And my brain kind of went. And Damone, I think, was the same way.
Yeah.
I came home, if not the first day, at least the second day, and I was like, what the hell? How did we go from zenned out to stressed out?
Stressed out, yeah. That's a good motto right there, phrase.
We went from zenned out to stressed out in no time flat. And it sucked because we had just come off of this 2-week hiatus feeling so wonderful, and it was gone.
Yeah.
It was just gone in a heartbeat. And I was really upset about it. And I was like, damn, we're back in the trenches. And so I kind of put the seed in Damon's head. I was like, we were watching a lot of international House Hunters, or House Hunters International. And we saw people doing this, they were living internationally or on the cheap, basically. And I said to Damon, I'm like, there's got to be a way we can get our act together and do this, because this is not working for me. And I don't want to talk at all.
No, that's just it. We were like we went from that, like Todd was saying, from that zen to that stress, and we were like, how can we incorporate having a stress-free life and travel? How do you, is that even possible?
Because we love to travel.
Is that something that we could actually do? And so Todd planted the seed, and I was a little bit more reluctant to do anything. And then what happened was we started crunching the numbers and looking at things, and we thought, you know what, how can we do this? And we thought, well, what if we were to sell everything? Well, if we were to sell our house and sell all of our possessions, and then just go travel the world. And so what ended up happening was we put our house up on the market, and that was going to be our sign. We had said we priced our house at a certain number, and we knew it was high, but we knew that we can get that number. And we thought, if we sell the house and we get that price, then that's a sign.
That's the universe's way of saying,
okay, you know what, do it. And so we put the house on the market on a Thursday. We got over asking price on a Sunday.
Wow.
So it took us 3 days.
So 3 days.
And
I mean, our real estate agent was like, you guys are not going to get this price. You guys are going to outprice yourself. And we put it on, and in 3 days, we got
over asking
so
price.
we're like, oh, well, there's our answer.
Wow.
So then we had about 6 months, and we went from a 2,200 square foot home to a 750 square foot apartment.
Yeah, 1-bedroom apartment.
A 1-bedroom apartment, and we lived in that apartment for 6 months. And we were off and on our way. We gave our notices to our jobs, and in February of 2016, we were out the door and traveling.
I think it's 17. I think it's 17, Damon, because I left in February 2016.
Oh, okay. My bad.
You were still there for a little bit.
It's okay. When you're away from work, time starts to go.
That's awesome. So you guys sold your house, sold your cars, quit your job, and just took off to travel the world.
We did.
Yes, and when we say everything, David, we sold everything. Our possessions has now come down to basically 2 check-in bags and 2 backpacks.
And that's everything.
That's everything you own.
Well, we have some totes that are back at a friend's house that have like our legal papers and tax documents and things like that. But as far as possessions go, I mean, we were both pretty much clothes horses. I mean, we loved clothes, we loved shoes, we loved everything, and all that's gone.
Right.
And I remember you guys had a really beautiful house, and it was a nice big house. It had nice cars, nice furniture. You guys were really meticulous
That was it.
in the quality of your stuff.
We were doing the dream, and we were making great incomes, and but it comes with a price, David.
Mm-hmm.
And stress is the biggest down payment. So we had all that stuff, but you don't even understand how stressful it is to keep that existence going. You don't notice it because you're in it. You're living the dream and you're doing it, and you're thinking, okay, this is just day to day. But when you step out of that and you go to someplace like Bali and you feel that energy, and you go, your spirit just kind of goes, you know, and when you release all that energy in that
Mhm.
frenetic junk, and then you come back into it, you choke on it.
Yeah.
And we haven't looked back.
Now also, so now that you guys are traveling, the question I have is are you traveling? How are you doing your traveling? I mean, are you out 12 months out of the year? I think I remember you're doing like 10 months out of the year, and you're back here in the United States for 2, and then all the different countries and stops that you're doing. Can you tell us how you're doing your traveling, like the timeline, how long you stay at a certain area, that kind of
Sure.
stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Outline
So
the plan.
we've been doing this now, like I said, for almost 2.5 years. And so what we normally do is we travel. We leave and we travel between 9 and 10 months, and then we come back home for 2, and then we get right back on the road and travel again for another 9 to 10 months.
And those trips are, we check in with friends,
family,
we check in with family, we doctors, we get our little health eyes. You know, it's kind of like that 2 months is to kind of come home, brush up, you know, kind of clean up for 2 months, and then I tell you, really, we can hone it down to a month. Because by the second month, we're already chomping on the road. We've come home 3 times, and each time it's like by the second month, I'm like, "Ooh, are you ready? I'm so ready. Let's get out of here."
because what happens is when we come home, there's things that we have to do. You gotta go. You gotta make dentist appointments. You gotta go to doctor's appointments. You gotta, you know, deal with tax, all the different things you have to do. So it's like and then you're visiting with family and friends, and before you know it, a month goes by or a month and a half goes by so fast.
Right.
It's like, wow. So we can slow our life back down again.
Yeah. The minute we step off the plane back in the States, you can just feel the energy change. It's so different in the United States than it is really anywhere else. We haven't been to Europe yet in this leg of our trip. We've gone through, and we'll get into that, but South America, Central and South America, into Indonesia and Southeast Asia. And all of those areas, it's just such a chill vibe. I mean, it's so different. And so we get into that and we're living that lifestyle for 9 to 10 months. And then you step off the plane in California and the energy hits you in the face like a brick. It's just like, whoa, traffic and people yelling at each other. And it's crazy.
So how many countries or cities have you been in since you started this adventure? Do you know? Do you remember?
18 countries.
Yeah, 18 countries.
I don't think we counted because when we're in a country, we'll generally find a home base and then we'll travel within that country other places. So cities, probably, I'm going to, off the top of my head, a quick guess would probably be, if we've had 18 countries, it's probably 30 cities.
Nice, because you guys will go and you'll stay in one city for like a month or 2 months, right?
We've been as much as 3 months.
3 months. What we try to do, David, is we use our U.S. passports and look at the different countries and see how long we can stay with that passport.
Right.
So if we can stay 30 days, we'll stay to 30 days. We normally don't go to a country without spending at least 30 days at a country because we have learned now that that's the most efficient way to travel. It's the cheapest way to travel. And it just makes sense. And so we'll go from 30 to up to 90 days at a country, depending on what the country is and depending on how long we can stay on our passports.
People who go on vacations for 2 weeks generally pay double what we pay for staying a month.
Yeah, because you guys will rent an apartment that's furnished, right? Because you don't have any furniture with you, obviously.
Yeah.
So you'll rent an apartment totally furnished. And I've seen your videos too, and we'll talk about your videos in a little bit on how people can see this kind of stuff going on. But you'll rent an apartment furnished, and usually in cities that are kind of close to shopping, where you can do a little cooking and restaurants and all that.
Yeah.
David, let's use our current place, for example. We are in Chiang Mai, Thailand. We're in a fully furnished apartment right now. Maya Mall we can look at it from our apartment, from our deck out here. It's a huge mall that's got everything you could possibly want. Restaurants galore. We pay little over $500 for this apartment.
It comes out to like maybe like $1,850 a night.
And that's all utilities. It's in a high class apartment building, I mean, almost like a condo building, with swimming pool, weight room. The Wi-Fi is incredible.
We have a maid service that comes.
And so, yeah, but okay, so we pay a little over $500 for the month. People who go on vacations and stay 2 weeks, they'll spend at least $1,000, if not more, for 2 weeks worth of rental, because they know you're short term, so they jack up the price on you. The minute you go into a full month term, the price just drops dramatically, 60% at least.
And we've learned that just through our travels, but I don't know if we might be jumping ahead, but we don't really stay in hotels. We try to find apartments, and we do pretty much everything with Airbnb.
No plug for Airbnb. They're great, but they're not paying us. So.
Yeah.
Not sponsored.
Yeah, they have been great to us. And what happens is when you stay past 28 days, you get a major discount in staying at a location, staying at a place. And so, because we travel and stay long periods of time, we really get good breaks. Yeah. And so we do everything pretty much through Airbnb, and we've established a great portfolio of places that we've been.
Because really, we have been income for Airbnb for the last 2.5 years. It's strictly them. So we've amassed quite a nice portfolio. It's a review-based environment, so we read the reviews of the places we stay, and we base our stays on that, as well as people read our reviews and say, oh, well, do we want these people in our house for a month or 2 or 3? So it's a nice little system.
Nice. Now, you're also going to a lot of countries that are normally cheaper than U.S. and Europe and so forth. Like you said, South America and Asia. But what's your average monthly expenses? And I saw some of your videos that sometimes you guys will rent a car or a scooter to get around. But if you were to average your monthly, what do you think your monthly expenses would be to live in the world?
Well, we try to stay well below $2,000 a month, and we've been successful in quite a few countries with that, even a lot cheaper than that. It just depends. Each country's different.
Yeah,
so
some countries we can get up to like $2,000, $2,100 if it's a little bit more expensive country.
And that's based off of everybody has a lifestyle that they like. So there's certain things that we like to have a nice place. I mean, I think when you reach a certain age, we're past the hostel stage.
Yeah, we don't stay in hostels.
We don't stay in a hostel. But I mean, you can definitely get away and do things cheaper than what we're doing. But our monthly budget is about $2,000 a month. And so some months some places we've been as low as 15, some months we've been as low as 1,400. So it just depends on the countries. And what we also learn is that we try to go to a country and stay at a place where we don't need a car, or we don't even have to do transportation, where we just walk, or we just take advantage of Uber or Grab or
tuk-tuks
and that type of thing. Because
in Asia, tuk-tuks are everywhere. So, for your viewers who don't know, they're like little rickshaws almost. Some are like rickshaws, some are like little motor carriages that will take you from here and there for just $1, $1, $2.
Wow.
And it's great. It's a great way to travel.
See, that's awesome. That's for the two of you, and that's your rent. That's all your expenses. That's your food and everything.
Entertainment, food.
Entertainment. And you guys like to go out to eat, right?
Yes.
The food is so cheap here in Thailand. We could stay here a month and not cook one meal.
You totally can.
Because you can go and eat, and we do. Here at the mall, they've got downstairs in the basement of the mall, it's like a food court, food stalls. The average meal there is about 40 baht, which is about $1.25. That's for a meal. And so, I mean, you get a full plate meal with a bowl of soup, and then you throw on a drink for, 30 baht, maybe less than that. I mean, you're getting out of there for $2.
Yeah. Well, put it this way, another way you can look at it too is that a day, if you want, we wouldn't have lunch and we wouldn't have dinner in one day. and we were out of there for the both of us less than $15.
And that was like for the meals, drinks, and dessert.
Nice. And I did see recently Damone ate some bugs.
Glad you specified that it was Damone.
I didn't see Todd eat them, but I saw Damone. And actually, I'll probably put a little bit of the video if I can. I'm gonna rip your video off the YouTubes or something.
Yeah, that was some. Sometimes I do that whole thing. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. We were in Cambodia, and the Khmer people. It's very common for them to eat bugs. And so,
they sell them on the street.
They sell them on the streets. In Cambodia, you can get a snake on a stick. You can get tarantula on a stick. You can get all these different bugs on a stick.
I'm with you.
I've eaten bugs in Korea. When I was in South Korea years ago, actually, when I was working at Murphy's, I went to Korea, and I ate little beetle bugs, tiny little things, and they were crunchy like a nut. It would taste like nuts.
Well, the great thing about this is that I didn't do it out on the street. They sell them on a stick all the way everywhere you go, and I just couldn't get behind that and eat it that way. We came across this restaurant. It's called the Bug Cafe. It's not a plug to them, but it's a great restaurant, and he's French. And a chef that cooks there, from tarantulas to scorpions you're still eating all the bugs, from tarantulas to scorpions, the water bugs, crickets, silkworms.
Everything we like to crush over here.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, I have to say it was a great experience. And I was very reluctant at first, but when I took my first bite, I have to say some of the bugs were quite tasty. It was like, I was like, because I didn't know when we were walking to the restaurant. I was telling Todd, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. My palms were getting all sweaty, and I was like, I don't know if I may eat it. But I sat down and ate the first thing, and then I just got into it and enjoyed the experience. And some of the stuff was really good.
Nice.
And some of it wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk, because we talked a little bit about your expenses and stuff, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers want to know, how are you guys earning any income? Because you've got this money going out, $1,400, $1,500, $2,000 a month. If you don't mind sharing a little bit about how you guys earn money while you're either traveling, or is this stuff that you've saved up before? And that way, give people a chance to kind of see if there's something that they could do. If they could do exactly the same thing you do, how did you guys kind of figure that part out?
Well, both of us are retired, so we have income coming in. And so with that income, we're very fortunate to be able to take care of our expenses to our retirement income.
Plus, we have investment income that we have coming in. We have an income stream that supports us for the month that we have to live within. And then we subsidize that through things that we can do online. Like I write for International Living Magazine as a traveling correspondent. So for the different countries that we go to, I'll write an article and submit that, and then I get paid for that. There's something that's online called Upwork, which viewers might be interested in. I don't know, but when you travel, it's an online, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's like job community,
Yeah, that you do online, and so you can basically sell your services online as a writer, as a proofreader, as a whatever, photographer. I mean, it's pretty limitless what you can do, and you can subsidize your income through that. So there are vehicles to help pad any income that you come in, but really to do this, you need to have an income stream.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
or a lot of money in the bank, when if you sold everything, you have to make sure you have enough to last you for a few years.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've got an income stream that'll last us, and then retirement is years away. But, officially where you can collect Social Security. I hate to even think that we're even in that ballpark, but
getting there.
Yeah, but when there, yeah, I mean, it's golden. So,
but I would also recommend some of your listeners and stuff, just because we're older, we're in our 50s. We see people, since we've been traveling the world, we
so
have
true.
met women and men in their 20s,
young 20s,
and have been traveling the world
for years.
And they're doing all this stuff because they have an online business. And so if you can find an online business, and a lot of companies now are paying people to work from home.
Mm-hmm.
All you need is the internet. So a lot of people don't really know you can go and travel and work from home and still be able to see the world. So I would encourage a lot of those people who have a business like that, or who have jobs like that,
or have the ability to take it on the road,
to get out there and experience it that way, because we've met so many people who are doing that, and it's just really amazing to see how many people are actually.
I watch a lot of YouTubers for the travel vloggers and stuff, and a lot of them are digital nomads, is what they call it. What they have, like you said, the writers, photographers, graphic artists, designs. They do articles, and a lot of them make money doing that. And also, they do great YouTube channels, which makes a little bit too. Nice. Yeah, a lot of the people that I follow seem to be young. They're the young, good-looking ones. I'm like, can an old guy like me do it?
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, people our age are all retirees, or people who have found some type of income stream that they can live off of. Mm-hmm. But the majority of the people that we've met in the countries that we've gone to have been young entrepreneurs just doing it. And there are so many out there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's amazing. We thought, we were going to be doing something so unique when we got out there. And we run into so many people who are doing what we're doing.
Wow.
So
it's never too early or too late to start. So everybody get your shit together and go.
Yeah. Well, that's our motto on our website, is it's never too late to follow your dreams.
Yes.
We started in our 50s, and I wish we could have, knowing now what we know, we could have started 10 years before that.
Wow. Really, nice.
There's no science to it. Once you get out and you start living a nomadic lifestyle, it just makes so much sense.
What is your favorite place you've been to, and why?
Well, we knew that question was going to come, because
that's everyone's
question to us.
Yes.
And let me start by saying this: out of the 18 countries, there hasn't been not one country that we didn't enjoy.
No.
That's the truth. I'm not trying to be like, at the moment. But no, seriously, all 18 countries we've been to, we really have enjoyed every single one. But if I had to pick a certain country, there's two that stand out for me, and that is Bali and Thailand. And for the same kind of reasons, Bali and Thailand, they have both. They have tropical, they have water, the people, the food,
the temples,
all those things are something that are just so amazing to be a part of.
The spirituality in these countries is amazing. Hindu and Buddhist majority, like here in Thailand, it's majority is Buddhist, but in Bali it's Hindu and Buddhism, and there's such reverence. We noticed that the very first time we went to Bali, people would put offerings to their god on their vehicles, so they'd have little flowers and stuff like that, because they're so appreciative of everything that they have. We saw such reverence in everything. And then, we come back to the States and everyone's just like, gimme, it's mine,
selfish.
It's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so just greedy and selfish. And there, everyone was so thankful for every little thing. Even here in Thailand, you could go to a huge office building, and out in front of that office building will be a little offering shrine that they go out and they put flowers in front of and burn incense. And every morning they go out and they give thanks, because that office building is surviving because they give thanks to the gods.
Yeah, wow. We learned something while we were traveling from people. Phrase that,
about living to work?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we learned that when we were in South America somewhere, because what we would notice is that we would go into a restaurant and it'd be empty, and the whole family would be there, and you walk in and they're so excited that you're there, and they treat you all really nice and they feed you, but the whole time we're there, we're the only people there, or we'll see a grocery store that someone's running, outside of their house. They'll set up these little fruit stands and sell water and stuff like that. Everyone's trying to make a little side hustle. You understand about the side hustle. And everyone in South America is making a little side hustle however they can. But we're thinking, how are they surviving when we don't see a crowd of people in the restaurant? So we asked somebody one time, how is it that you guys survive? And they said, well, it's different for us in South America than it is in America. They said, in the States, you guys live to work. Here, we work to live. Mm-hmm. And their clarification on that, because I was like, huh? They go, if we sell enough to put dinner on the table that night,
it's a good day.
Then we're having a great day.
And they don't need a lot either. They live within their means.
They're not thinking of investments and retirement and
401ks
and this and that. We're so divested in so much. They're looking at how can we feed us and the kids and maybe the grandparents who are living with them. How can we feed the family tonight? And is there enough gas to get us to?
They're pretty much living in the moment, when a lot of us in the States are living in the future or living in the past. They're living in the moment, and they're just grateful for what they have.
Nice.
That once you get on that mindset is amazing.
That has changed the way that we look at things now, David. We really try to stay living in the moment and living and being grateful for what we have. So we know that what we're doing is definitely a blessing. So we try to live that way and accept that and deal with that. But yes, we've learned that in our travels.
See, I told you guys there was so much great information. Now, stay tuned for part 2. Don't forget that, because they're going to talk about what's next for them, where they plan on going on next, and how to protect yourself with insurance when you're traveling. And they had an incident that happened that was unfortunate, but it worked out pretty well. And also a super, super cool cruise trip on how to actually get a cruise for cheaper than a flight back home. So stay tuned for part 2, and we'll see you on the next one.